What if I told you that resonance is an awful source of damage, and you can do the same amount of damage as someone that's over 2,000 more resonance than you? Now, I'm not only going to tell you this, but I'm going to show you within the next few minutes. So I'll be showing you all types of different legendary gem combinations of 1, 2, and 5-star gems that will help you net the same amount of damage as someone who has more resonance than you, or better. And this is an F2P friendly guide, because a lot of these gems are going to be 1 and 2 stars that we're swapping in. So I'm going to start with a loadout that has all 5-star gems, and then I'll show you step by step how powerful some of these 1 and 2-star gems are by just swapping out 1 or 2 at a time, and then you'll see how my overall damage output will stay the exact same as my resonance drops. And then at the end of the video, I'll kind of explain a little bit more how you can apply this to your own build. So let's develop our baseline. I'm going to be using the same exact build each time. This is just a build for this test. It doesn't have the most DPS output, but it's just consistent for testing. And so the goal is going to be to match this DPS output while slowly lowering our resonance. And also, I'm not going to be using any of the gem resonance bonuses from inside of the gems just to make this as simple and as even as possible. So the baseline is 4,359 resonance. I'll be swapping things out to try and beat this build on the dummy. Here are all of my gems. And again, I'm not using any of the gem resonance bonuses. They're just providing gem power so that these gems aren't dormant. If you're not really understanding what I mean by that, then check out my gem power video, linked in the description. But with this setup, I'm doing 4 million DPS on the dummy, or 240 million damage in 1 minute. And all of these are good offensive gems, so it might seem hard to beat this at lower reso. But let's start swapping. First thing, we're just going to remove the Starfire and Maw, and replace these with a Pain Clasp and an Everlasting Torment. The Pain Clasp is the GOAT of all damage increasing gems, in my opinion. And it's super easy to reach the maximum bonus compared to 5-star gems. A lot of the 5-star gems will max out at 24% at rank 10. Same thing with the 2 stars, but of course it's easier to get that 2-star ranked up. The Pain Clasp is part of this main synergy that will help boost your damage. The only thing you need to add with it is a damage over time, or a dot. So that's why I also choose Everlasting Torment, which is also just on its own another very good 1-star gem. Provides a dot, and it does provide some damage with it. So after changing these gems, I'm now down to 3,952 resonance, which is 587 less resonance than our baseline. But as you can see here, the damage output is exactly the same at 4 million DPS or 243 million damage in 1 minute. So this already shows you how you can pick up some better synergies that outperform the damage bonuses from your higher rank 5-star gems with all the resonance, but it gets better. So now let's swap out another 5-star gem. Now I've replaced my Void Spark with a Berserker's Eye. And after all this, it puts me at 3,383 reso, which is a whopping 1,156 less resonance than our baseline. But now our damage output is even higher at 4.1 million DPS, almost 4.2, or 250 million damage in 1 minute. And this is due to the permanent bonus, or the always active bonus from Berserker's Eye, providing more overall damage than even a rank 7 Void Spark with all of its bonuses. But we can still go lower. Now let's replace the Bottled Hope with a Fervent Fang. And not even a high rank one, only a rank 6. So this is going to drop our reso to 3,033, but again, the damage output is still the exact same at 4 million DPS or 240 million in 1 minute. And the reason for this is simple. Even though Bottled Hope is providing a 17% damage increase, this is only for 6 seconds every 20 seconds. But the Fervent Fang builds up slowly to 17% and stays there. And it's much easier for you to rank up the Fervent Fang than it is a Bottled Hope. So here's another great gem you can add in for some extra damage. But still, I'm using a good amount of 5 stars, so let's drop another one. So now I'll replace my Gloom Cast with the Pain of Subjugation. And this puts me at 2,685 resonance with only using 3 5-star gems. But would it surprise you if I told you that my damage output is still 4 million DPS or 243 million in 1 minute? It's the same thing. The permanent bonuses or the always active bonuses are better. So in this case, the bonus from the Pain of Subjugation is better than the bonuses from Gloom Cask and all of its resonance and its abilities. So just to recap, we've lowered our resonance by 1,854, and we're still doing the same amount of damage. But we're not done here. Finally, let's replace one more 5-star gem, the Wolf Hort, with the Mother's Lament. And same as the Fervent Fang, this is a lower rank one. This is only rank 5. So this is going to drop my reso down to 2,388, which is a staggering 2,151 resonance lower than our baseline. But yet again, I'm outputting the same exact amount of damage onto the dummy. 4 million DPS or 236 million damage in a minute. Really, the only 2 5-star gems that are going to be hard to replace are the 2 that I'm wearing right now, the BSJ and the Roiling. If you only had 2 5-stars to go for, then I would tell you to pick these 2. These bonuses are very hard to replace, very hard to find elsewhere, so it's always better to use them even at rank 1, 2, or 3. So now looking through all these builds, this goes to show how little resonance actually modifies your damage and how you can achieve higher damage numbers without having to fork over so much resonance and to try and get all these dupes and rank up this and rank up that. You can use a majority 1 and 2-star gems and still be pushing a lot of damage like a lot of other people are with more resonance than you. So how do you actually go about changing your current build to produce these higher damage outputs? The first step is just to identify which of your gems are not giving you damage boosts, and then also which ones are only giving you boosts for specific times. So things that are buffs or they have a boost due to their ability, and then you replace those non-damaging gems or those lackluster gems with some of these always active boosts or some of these gems that have better damage outputs. And with the way that gem power works now, you can use your gem power more freely and build up all kinds of gems in your bag until they're high enough to use. That's what I've been doing. That's why I have all these 1-stars, and I'm starting to build a couple 2-stars. So let's say you're trying to replace a gem like Gloomcask or Maw of the Deep. Then you have to make sure that the bonus you're replacing it with provides a higher overall damage boost. So for example, with a rank 6 Maw of the Deep, after it hits, it'll provide 12% damage increase for 6 seconds. So you need to beat this 12% damage, and including the damage that it already does with its ability, in order to swap it out. So if you're going to swap it out for a Pain Clasp, then you have to make sure that this Pain Clasp is at least level 6 for the 16% increase. Or if you're going to use a Fervent Fang, still make sure it's rank 6 for the 17% increase. I've made sort of a tier list for the best gems to use in terms of ones that are providing damage boosts or ones that are providing damaging abilities. And so you can kind of go through top to bottom and add some of these to your build, swap this one out, swap that one out, and test as many of these as you can to figure out what's going to do as much damage as possible for you. But the perfect combo is going to be a mix of these gems that are providing you flat damage boosts, some of them that are giving you crit modifiers, and a couple gems that do their own damage. And once you have what you want, then ranking up all of these gems as much as possible is your next goal. This is of course easier to do with 1 and 2-star gems, which works out very nicely because the majority of these gems that you would be swapping in are 1 and 2 stars. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching. And if you've made it this far, big ups to you. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Also check out my Discord server and other videos that I have linked. Peace.